Welcome to episode 48. I think it is. We're in episode 48 of the Marketing That Grows Your Business show. Today we're going to be talking to someone about something that's super important today, especially when it comes to marketing, and that is really getting people to talk with you, talk back to you, personalizing. We got to stand out these days, so we really have to have a mechanism for doing just that because we're in a sea of content out there. So today we're going to be talking about personalized videos, how you use them to increase your sales. I have just started using this little tool that we're going to talk a little bit more about today, and fascinating, which is one of the reasons I invited the founder to come share some goodies with you guys. So as you're coming in, just give me a shout out. Where are you and how is the weather where you are? Hey, Jenny, glad to see you. Andre, I hope I said that correctly. Good to see you. And Taylor, I'm glad you're here. We got Don live from New York. And Paul, thank you for being here. I'm always so glad to see your smiling face. Steve, dude, how are you? Boston in the house. All right. I bet it's cold up there. I'm currently in Virginia, and it is a little bit nippy here. I don't think it's supposed to get above 34 today. I know it's all relative. I know, but still. So Jenny is saying Chicago is cold and snowy. Elaine from New York City. All right, excellent. Okay, so yeah, this is the first time you guys have seen the new hair color, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not quite sure. We'll see. I haven't decided whether I like it yet or not, but it's new and it's a new year and one just needed a change, right? All right. So before I introduce our special guest, I wanted to share that we're going to be doing our giveaways like normal. And if you have an aha moment, just type in aha. That means, hey, you hear something that you didn't know before. Or you knew it, but you needed to hear it again. So if you drop in your aha moments, we will be giving away a couple of things today. One is from our sponsor, the Go Social Content Club. The Go Social Content Club is essentially a way for you to stop stressing when you sit down in front of your computer to share something on social media. It's pre-designed, professionally designed content for your social so that you don't have to pull your hair out. So we'll be giving away 3 1-month trials to the Go Social Content Club. Thank you to our sponsor. And we're also going to give away 2 Clubhouse invites. If you guys aren't familiar with Clubhouse, it's like this social, I don't know. I haven't decided if it's a social network yet. It's definitely a networking app for sure. Super cool. A lot of people are talking about it. You have to have an invite to get in. So I'm going to give away 2 of those invites. So, Paul's like, ahas as usual. Yes. And thank you guys for all the wonderful compliments. If you have never been on one of my shows before, I back up. I'm a little mixed up in all my order of things today. But let me introduce myself. And if you are new and have never been on one of my shows before, type in #new. I'll wave. And if you're watching on the replay, same #replay. My name is Kim Garst. I am an online business strategist. Honestly, it's just a fancy way of saying I love helping people make more money in their business. And I've been around for a long time, almost 30 years. I've owned an online business. And so I love sharing my knowledge, and I love bringing other people in to share knowledge with you, things that I don't know that you could potentially get a lot of benefit from, which is why we are here. All right. So, hey, Beverly, waving, new. She is new. You guys say hey to her. So I see a couple people saying they're loving Clubhouse. Excellent. Clubhouse is kind of an intriguing thing. I'll ask our special guest in a minute if he's there. All right. So speaking of our special guest, you guys, I would like to just give you a little bit of detail on him first. Matt Bernett. He's also known as Papa Bear. So we're going to get the story behind that here in a moment. Okay. But he's a British designer by trade. He started a company called Bonjoro. It's his second company, founded in Sydney, Australia, which he is currently living there. What started as a sales hack for his agency overtook the main business in just 18 months. So wow, right? Is that not super cool? Let me put that back up here. I'm talking too much. He has team members in 5 continents and customers in 27 countries. But he really loves to build great products and great culture. He's very focused on being the most loved brand in the world. So you guys put your hands together and welcome. Woo! Here we go. Let's put that up. There we go. Hey, Matt. Woo!
Good morning from Australia, everyone. It's 6 a.m. here, so excuse me. I'm going to have a coffee as we get into it.
6 a.m. Is this dedication now? He is agreed to be here and let us pick his brain at 6 a.m. in the morning. Is it Monday there?
It's Tuesday. I'm coming at you from the future.
Okay. So, yeah. But I was getting ready to say he's letting us do this on a Monday of all days. But okay, so he decided to go with a Tuesday instead. It's all good. Awesome. Well, let me ask real quick, what is Bonjoro? Can you just give people a little bit of visibility into what your company is all about?
Sure. So we're a one-to-one personalized video messaging service. So essentially, sit on top of any customer system that you use. So ActiveCampaign, MailChimp, HubSpot, Salesforce, Shopify, like you name it. When customers perform certain actions, rather than just sending a generic email, what we'll do is we'll notify your team and say, hey, look, Johnny from Ogilvy in London signed up. Yeah, Johnny's head of marketing for the Budweiser team. Why don't you drop Johnny a message and let him know that it's wonderful having him in as a lead and that you want to get on a call with him. And so you then record a video, say exactly that. It takes 20 seconds, and then we deliver that off to Johnny. So the first piece of comms he ever gets from your company isn't a generic video, and a generic email. It's a video recorded just for him, showing that you care, showing that you're there for him, getting a bit of your brand across. And as a result, we tend to see about 3 times the kind of response rates as you get on normal email or message that goes out.
One of the things I'm going to just open up my Bonjoro real quick and share, because I was just telling Matt, we just started using this tool at the tail end of our last launch, and I wish we'd have had things in a little bit more order, because we had a little bit of a learning curve, trying to figure it all out at the same time. But I wanted to share what it looked like for us. Let me just pull my screen up here real quick. So we did this little video, and the way it ended up working, you can see it's kind of branded to my business, and there's a little video that I'm sending to everybody. But basically, anybody that visited our sales page, I then went, I'm trying to enlarge that. Then I went and recorded a video to that person saying, hey, Susie, I saw you were interested in this, the list building to profit training. And if you have any questions or concerns, just, let me know. So it was a touch point, a follow-up kind of thing. And it was really interesting. I was fascinated to see that so many people, the open rates was exceedingly high. And then of course the click-throughs were also high. The conversion piece, we're still trying to figure all that out. But I think that when it's a way to stand out in people's inboxes, right? It's like they've shown an interest in my particular case, and then following up with them is just smart marketing.
Yeah, I think it's kind of 2 areas where you see it used. One is, say, if you're in a traditional relationship business. So if you're in services, consultancy, that kind of side of things, like you've got to try and build relationships. So getting the best first impression kind of helps that going and kind of jumpstarts it, especially when clients are around the world. The other side, which is the opposite, is if you're in an industry where relationships are not normally part of the customer journey, like e-commerce or like SaaS, like software online. Then when you're doing it, people are like, "Oh, this is unusual." There's an online company who's actually got humans and they're interested in me and what I'm on about. So I think there as a competitive advantage, and just get people first, culture first, is a massive kind of wake up call in today's environment where everything's about scale and kind of automation and removing the humanity.
Yes, absolutely. So I mean, I'd love to hear the story as to how Bonjoro got started. I mean, what prompted it? Was it an in-house thing that turned into a standalone company? How did he get started?
Yeah, so it was definitely a side hustle. It was so being here in Australia, amazing place to live. I'm actually from the UK originally. Amazing place to live, but all your customers end up being overseas, depending what you do. So we had an agency here, and we dealt with large agencies, large enterprise clients. So they all end up being in New York, Paris, and London. And so our lead funnel came in when we were all asleep in the evenings because we're 24 hours, or 12 hours out of sync with the rest of the world. And I'm very much in terms of sales, in terms of engaging clients, I'm a jazz hand kind of guy. Like I'll jump in the room, dance around, kind of get everyone on board, and dealing with creative teams. That was part of what we did. Now, when it comes to, I guess, lead engagement online, I'm not a copywriter, and all that kind of got lost. So we were looking at ways to better engage our leads that came in. So we built a little hack where every person that signed up to our lead form in the night, we'd pull them in, we pull their LinkedIn information, we pull information about them, who they were, where they worked, get it as personal as possible, and then give it to me. And then I would take a boat to work in the morning across Sydney Harbour. And as I went past Sydney Opera House, I would do a video, to John Archer from Ogilvy in London saying, hey, welcome on board. So we sign up. Obviously, we're not in London. We're here in Australia. Look, I will be in London in 6 weeks' time. Why don't I come in and show you what it is we're about? We work with these companies, et cetera, et cetera. And so the first piece of comms they would get was this video off me. It was very manual. We'd record it. We'd attach it into an email. We'd send it off. We'd try and put a call to action in there, to book a call or to have us in for a meeting. And the results just blew us away. We tripled our response rate. And like most people replied and said, I can't really understand what you're saying because it's too windy, but this is hilarious. You should definitely come in and see us or have a call. And so, long story short, one of those clients asked if they could use this video email system. We let them use it. They started sending them. Some of their customers asked if they could use it. We hacked something together on the weekend they could use. More people started using it. Pat Flynn got on board and started using it, and then it kind of just took off. And it was not ever planned. It was 12 months in. We kind of were sitting down and looked at it and we're like, yeah. So it turns out we've got two businesses now. And so we ended up putting these resources in and I guess building it when the opportunity looked correct.
That's awesome. I mean, but that's a really interesting story for us as all of us as business owners. Is sometimes we build things that we need. I've heard a lot of SaaS company founders talk about this, where like my friend Zayed Balki comes to mind. He's like, I had a need for, this. And so I built it and then it turned into its own little thing. So it sounds like that's kind of what you guys did too. It kind of started as, just a way for you to really connect in a personal way to people. And like I say, I think that evolution in marketing we have got to embrace that one-on-one. There's no more just standing out and shouting from the rooftops and hoping that a bunch of people buy from us, right? I mean, we've got to talk with people. Do you agree we're there now?
Yeah, I think we had it 30 years ago. You used to go into your grocer and you know who they were there and they would know what you want. You had that little bit of uplift every day. Like we haven't, Australia's very much a coffee culture, so we do it with our baristas. If a barista moves coffee shop, we'll follow them across the city. So you have these experiences offline. I think we've all gone and got online and kind of lost some of that. And now more than ever, like most of us, like everyone here, like we all have clients in different states or in different countries and sometimes different languages. So that's opening up. And so I guess trying to get those relationships back, like most of the customers I've never met, it's still kind of weird, but you can still build relationships, with these little touch points. Like there's a point when the human needs to step in. We have an ethos here, which is automate processes but never relationships. And what we mean is like automation is amazing, but it should be doing the stuff that a human can't do so that you can free up to do the stuff that only a human can do. And that includes talking to customers and having a great time with them.
Yeah, I totally agree. So when it comes to businesses sending out the personal emails, like, let's talk about, let's segment it a little bit and talk about a couple of different ways that you could do it. Like, do you feel, well, I know you've probably seen it because I saw some examples when I was doing a little bit of research on the tool, like onboarding clients, for example, could be one way that streamlining and giving that personal attention. Do you have any examples of something like that that you've seen that's really worked well?
Yeah, so I mean, so onboarding clients is so we we term that activation. So what it is when you have a new client on board, make sure they're engaged with the correct material, make sure they're actually getting on with what it is that you offer, so that you don't lose them because they've become unengaged. Like maybe a good example here, you see it a lot in my industry. So in software as a service, you have new clients come on board, and in the first 2 months they don't get active and they kind of leave. So we see SaaS companies tend to use this to reduce user churn. So we see people using it to drive demos. So when a user signs up, we'll pull information. We'll say, hey, look, this user has done steps 1, 2, and 3, but they haven't done steps 4, 5, and 6. And if they don't do these 3 steps, they're unlikely to become an active user or to onboard properly. So then you're sending a video and you're saying, hey, Kim, I saw you sign up the other day. I saw you've done these 3 parts. There's a really important next step to go and do. I'm including a link in the video to go and help you do this. But if you have any questions, let me know, or book a link here to go and hop on a call with one of the team. So we tend to see that used a lot.
It's almost like they're probably on the other end of this experience, probably thinking, how do they know? Like, how do they know I've done 1, 2, and 3? And now they're like, telling me I need to, if I have any questions or, so can you describe how that works a little bit using Bonjoro?
Yeah. So again, if you're using any kind of CRM or customer data source, so let's pick a HubSpot or an active campaign. You're plugging this into Bonjoro and you're choosing what information to drag across. So we can pull that across for you. You can pull information from any data source. So again, you'll get a notification. So as a customer performs action, so as a lead signs up, as a customer pays for the first time, as somebody hits a certain point on your funnel, with existing customers, we'll then notify you and pull the information in. So again, everything is there ready to go. We'll give you as much as we can. We'll actually pull other data as well to try and show you their job title, where they work, where they are in the world. If you don't have that, again, like any bit of personalization here is key. You can then open it up, phone or desktop, do a 20-second recording. And then when you send it, you can choose what link. So you have pre-built templates. So you can choose to put a link into book a demo, or if it's a less qualified lead, maybe just a link into your help docs. Or if it's an existing customer, maybe a link into a discount or to a session that you're running, etc. So again, you can choose to send different customers different directions. It's built for teams, so it doesn't have to be using entrepreneur using this. It's a good starting point. But again, depending how big your funnel is, it might want to be some of your juniors doing this, some of your sales team. You might want to put filters in so that you only do it for certain leads, of a certain kind of quality or price points, and maybe the other ones you want to do group messages to instead.
Yeah. So when we use this, it was about just seeing who, landed on the sales page. And then I did a follow-up email or a follow-up email with a personalized video. But, I think some of the examples that I saw that I think would be a little bit more focused, like if somebody signs up for a discovery call or, something like that, and then you can follow up with a personalized email thanking them or looking forward to seeing you, or, it's almost like you're building the connection before you even have a chance to talk to them, which I think is pretty fascinating. So when it comes to creating the personalized piece of it, and scaling it, because you talked about that before. We're in this place where everybody's about the scale, like, not wanting to spend the time. Is there, like, if there's just a few people, like if you want to, a few people are coming through every day that are taking a specific action in your business, a few personalized videos a day is pretty easy to do. Like, if we just commit to it. But what if you have like 50 people taking a specific action a day? Is there a way to still personalize personalize a video, like a generic one? Or would you recommend like still spending the time to, hey, Susie, hey, Tom, leveraging the power of the name versus just a pre-recorded video, if you will?
Yeah, so this is why it applies to all marketing and doing. I think it's different levels of personalization that you want to do for different customers at different stages. So this is not a tool that you do at every single customer stage all the time. I think so prioritization is key to this. So let's say you have 50 leads coming in a day. Of those 50, so not all leads are equal. And that as well as I do. 10 of those leads will be awesome. 20 will be okay, and maybe 20 are probably going to be non-starters. So two things you can do. You either build filters in and just do the welcomes for your top 10 or your top 20. The other thing we do is like personalization doesn't have to be to the individual. There's also what I call in the moment. So what you can do is, do your 10 personalized videos to your top 10 leads, because you know they're more likely to convert, and therefore it's worth your time and the ROI, to be frankly honest. The other 40, we also have functions where you can do a video and send it to a whole group of people. Now, in that case, I actually think it's worth doing one video a day for those. We're saying, hey, it's a beautiful Tuesday here in Tampa. This is what's happening today. So they know it's like that day, and then it's personally say, look, I saw you just signed up today. Now, I want to get in touch with you. If you have any questions, let me know, etc. So the idea here is you're not necessarily mentioning their name or their company. So it's the next level down of personalization, but you are making it in the moment. So they still know that you've stopped on that day, relevant to them, and got in touch, which again is a jump, again, above, I guess, an automated email that kind of goes out with no side to it. The other things, like, regardless, getting on video and doing it unedited in the moment on your mobile while you're walking your dog, or even like Pat Flynn does it, like in the kitchen with his kids running around his feet. That idea as well, you just get that transparency across. So I think there's two sides to this as well. It's the brand side comes across, so people are like, this is a different company. These people are like me. This is great, and they're willing to drop that kind of wall and expose themselves, and that exposure is all like generates trust.
Yeah. Well, I think anytime that somebody takes time, especially today, it's like, we don't get handwritten notes in the mail anymore. Like, nobody does that, right? We rarely even send birthday cards anymore. Birthday cards used to be something, a lot of people would do, and you'd go out to your mailbox and you'd be like, oh, look. So now when I get something in the mail, it really stands out to me. Like, you get a card, a handwritten note, something like that, instead of an e-card, so e-cards were huge when we made the transfer from, what we had known before. It was like, oh, look, we don't have to go to the store. We don't have to buy them. All we have to do is, go to some website and, put in somebody's email address and tell them happy birthday, and boom. And so I think we're reverting back to your point where, traditional marketing methods are absolutely going to be what's going to win the day, where that connection, that personal connection with people is going to be so powerful. When it comes to leveraging the videos, the personalized videos, do you have some strategies or some tips or tricks that you would recommend that people use when they, like, using somebody's name, for example, or using a state or a reference point? Just any tips and tricks that would create a higher conversion opportunity? Yeah.
So look, this is a different type of video here. So this is not an edited high def, like, perfect video, and that type of content has its place, like, absolutely, in your company. This is a communication piece, and so, like, most of us have been using Zoom and kind of getting on video a lot this year. So hopefully we can't over that hump. But the one thing here is, like, if you're not over that hump just yet, don't put video on a pedestal. I mean, it's, again, like, when you meet someone for coffee, this is the same thing. You don't need to look perfect. You don't need to stay on the move. And in fact, what we find is that when people are more authentic in their videos, so we see at least we saw about 30% of our videos were done on commutes to work, like previously. People would be doing these on trains, like in cars, walking down the road. So you actually do it in your downtime, which, again, like, is more effective for you as a business owner or as a business person, because you get to utilize time that you wouldn't necessarily utilize. It's also more engaging. So, like, we have desktop versions, like, go use mobile. You'll likely to be more comfortable on mobile because it's a very personal device. It's not like you're sitting in front of a camera. Again, it's more transparent. I think when you're doing the videos, so always use a name. There is untold power in a name. If you have a surname, say that. If you have a company name, say that. The idea here is you want people to go, oh, wow, this is actually recorded for me. This is insane. Timing is key. So we mentioned you're building these off customers taking specific actions. So that it might be that a lead comes in and you want to get back to them within 2 hours, or your sales team does, because at that point you're still relevant. The thing has happened. You're more likely to get a higher open rate. And then I think within the video itself, you're doing this for a reason. So you're sending these in order to get a customer more engaged, in order to get them to take a next step in your business, whatever that might be, convert, get on a call, leave a review. So always have an ask in your video, and that's okay. Like, don't be shy. It's like you're taking time here for the customer. You're actually putting yourself out there for them. So it's okay to ask something back. So if you're looking to book a call, or you're looking to get them to leave you a review on Trustpilot, then just ask for that. Say, hey, so I saw you came in. If you don't understand anything, there's a link here, book a call. There's a link here, go and leave a review. It means a lot to us. And you'll be amazed at how people come back and they're like, I've done that thing for you. Like, that's awesome.
And that is so awesome. One of the things I wanted to key in on, I forgot exactly how you said it. Basically, though, the power of the name, which is so. I mean, it's one of the things that we all have one, right? We all have a name, and hey you, or dude, or whatever. Just I do this all the time in social. I always try to make sure that I use the power, because there's power in people's names. Some people don't use their real name, but for those who those who do use real names, I try to address them by their name, because I do believe there's power in them. When it comes to leveraging we've talked about a couple of touch points on, ways you can use the videos and, from a conversion standpoint. But can you share a couple of maybe like case studies or stories where somebody has leveraged the power of the personalized videos, and it's made a huge impact? I'm sure you've got some stories about success stories.
Yeah, so maybe I'll give a couple of different points. So the top one, kind of lead conversion. So we work with a company called ClickFunnels, who some of you may have heard of. So they use us, this SDR teams use us for booking signups onto calls, like calls and lead demos are a key part of their business. So I believe they've increased their call turn up by about 15%, which given the thousands of customers they have in a month is absolutely huge. Like, as a result, that's leveraged into 20, 30, 40K MRR a month. So like extra recurring revenue. In terms of things like, I guess, activation. So we see one area here, we see a lot of stuff in like online courses. We generally see people double the activation rates, which we talked about earlier. So when the customer comes into your funnel, making sure they actually stay and kind of and get set up and get engaged with your services or your product within the first kind of month. I'm really interested by things around advocacy. And this is one thing we haven't mentioned today. There's a byproduct of what we do here, which is about generating advocacy and generating referrals. So a good example here is we see e-commerce a lot. I was talking to a coffee e-commerce company, which I think is a kind of commodity, yesterday, and they were using us to take customers from their single purchase onto their subscription product. They've been trying to do subscriptions for the last couple of years. They do about $35,000 in recurring revenue on coffee subscriptions. What they did is whenever they had someone who came into their funnel who'd purchased from them twice before, they would send a video while they were roasting the coffee in one of the rooms, and they'd say, hey, did you know we have a subscription? So you get coffee coming every quarter. If you go there, you actually save money because I see you purchased twice before. Here's a 5% discount link. Go and jump on board. They ran it at that for 12 weeks, and they went from $35,000 to $75,000 in recurring revenue in just 3 months. So again, the power of them in terms of changing around their business model was absolutely insane. And this is for coffee, which again is a commodity that millions of people offer in a very, very competitive landscape. Do those going to help? Or like, I could talk around some other use cases, but I think there's again, like, even if you're not in e-commerce, the point there is like selling a commodity in the e-commerce competitive space.
Yeah.
The impact you can make there is insane.
Insane. Yes. So, that was actually one of my questions too, which was maybe sharing, because I know a lot of my community, they are in, they may not have a physical product, not a brick and mortar. Do you have any great case studies? Like Pat Flynn would be a great one, for example, because, he has an online business.
Yeah.
His structure is like a lot of my community. Even myself, we have digital products and services. What would that look like for somebody? You can give a couple of ideas around that.
It's Pat Flynn, the way he uses it. So it's worth read his book, Superfans. This is everything he's about. So for him, it's very much around this advocacy piece, which is much harder to kind of get your head around. So I think most of our users will start with lead conversion because it's very easy. It's very binary. We sent out 20 videos. Did we convert more leads? Like it's quite simple. The way he uses it is when people come onto his paid courses, he then drops a video into them and says, thanks so much for coming on board. And so his ultimate goal here is activation again. So he's making sure they're engaging with that course material and that they're going on and using it and therefore staying, not just for 3 months and not just buying his first course, but buying courses off him for the next kind of 5 years. So it's about what we call lifetime value. He also very much is into again, generating advocacy and super fans. So we were chatting to him a while ago, and he said that one of the challenges he's had is he's got bigger, and obviously he's got crazy big, even by his standards, is staying connected to customers as he's scaled. And so at the very beginning, you talk to anyone who knew Pat Flynn in the early days, he would take all the time in the world with customers. He was always there. He was always talking. He was always calling out names, like extremely personalized in the way that he naturally has grown his company, which is why he's so successful. That's become a challenge because of the size of his funnel. So he then uses this to do he does a 10-second video, says someone's name, says thank you for so much for being on board, but he'll do it like in his kitchen when he's cooking his dinner with his kids running around. Like he doesn't sit in his office for this. He does it like while he's walking his dogs. So the idea for him is, look, this is about getting customers to stay longer and spend more over time, but that's kind of a byproduct of what he does, which is making sure that he actually like connects at some point individually with every single paid customer that comes on board, because he knows that if he does that, they are going to go and talk about him. They're going to tell their friends to come and use him. And yeah, the byproduct is look at the size of Pat Flynn in the last kind of 3 years. So I think personalization is just like core to who he is, regardless. Yeah. And so he's always like, how do I scale that as I get bigger? And so he does a lot of these. You know, like we talk about 50 a day. Like at some points, I'm pretty sure he's done more than that.
Yeah, it's. I mean, that was the part that. Well, there's a couple of things. I'll just share my personal experience real quick. It was nice because there is a phone app, so I could literally shoot a video wherever I was, which was nice, super nice, because there are downtimes in our normal day-to-day life where we have just a little bit of time, but maybe we're not sitting in front of our computers or whatever. We're not driving, but we're a passenger in a car, and we can that's kind of dead time that we could be leveraging in something like this. So from that perspective, I love that I could just do it on the fly. And then the other thing that was difficult on the flip side for me was the volume. I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't think about this. I didn't think this through when we first put it together, because, how many people actually look at the sales page? That wasn't, next time we'll be more intentional with our trigger, for how we want. Maybe it's, to your point, maybe it's after someone's purchased and we have that connection where we're really trying to build that relationship with our new buyer. But yeah, it was kind of an interesting first experience for me. But I see so much potential with the power of just one standing out in somebody's feed or in their inbox, giving that personal time to people based on some action that will, whether it's just like Pat's doing, which is really just about building I think the word you use is super fan, but somebody who's just wowed by the extra attention that you as a business owner can give your new buyer. I think that's just stinking smart. And I know that's something that you're super passionate about as well. I read in your bio where you are wanting to be from a big vision standpoint within your company, having a great company culture, but a part of that has to be loving up on your customers. Can you share how you guys do it? Like, what does that look like on your side?
Yeah, so like frontline is, I think, one of the areas that we can all invest more. We're kind of 3.5 years in, I guess, about 50,000 like paid customers. We do 85% of our traffic and leads come from word of mouth today. I think we spent a total of about 30 grand on marketing over the last 3 years. So we don't actually spend like any paid. All our customers come from other customers. Now, we obviously, I'm biased, we have to do a video welcome to every single person. Now, I have a team around the world, so I'm not doing these. I still do 10 a day because, like, as a founder and as a CEO, like I need to keep connected to the customers, and I love that and I love those interactions to make sure we have a finger on the pulse. But our team is in the States, the UK, South Africa here, so everyone jumps on board. So we have that great personalization. We do demo calls for any customer, free or paid, and we don't just talk about Bonjoro. We'll actually ask them about their funnel. We'll say, look, where else are you having challenges in the funnel? We'll suggest other mediums to use, other things we've seen. We might say hop on Clubhouse. We might say, look, use high definition video here. Use us here. You want to be using some Facebook messaging over here. So I have to kind of just jump in and help people out as much as possible. And the idea here is that it's not just about Bonjoro. If we can help customers be successful, regardless, it's going to filter down to what we do as a company. And the whole team, like we hire people who are like that. We hire people who are very open, very authentic, but we hire people who specifically love people. So like you said, like our developers will get on calls with people and have a great time. We've always invested. We've always made sure we have 24-hour support. Again, we are a global company, so that's kind of crucial to us. But we've always made sure there's someone online to answer questions 24 hours a day, pretty much 7 days a week. So if you have a thought at midnight, hop online and we'll be there to answer it. I think if you do this, like look at Zappos, like it's the best example here. Like they nailed like operational customer delight. So like the stories just abound, and you look at them, all they were really was a shoe company, and yet they got so famous because of it. So I think if you can part of your funnel, like really invest in customers, like really give great first impressions, be there when they need you, especially in the early days of starting a business, like you have time to invest, do this, and people will start to talk about you. It is hard. Like the caveat is it's hard to track. It's hard to know how much these efforts actually come back into dollars down the line. But you should hopefully be able to track a little bit of where your traffic comes from. And if you start seeing more and more of your traffic coming from referrals, then you know that something you're doing is starting to work here. So again, when people sign up, like if you're not doing it already, make sure you know where they come from, and what you want to see is that number of people coming through referrals or word of mouth starts to go up over time. Doing things like this like inevitably help.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wanted to just key back in on something you said, which is the amount of the business that you guys get is word of mouth. Like, I think that's phenomenal. Like, it goes back to, though, exactly what you said for the rest of the time, which was about really investing in people. Because if you invest in the people, guess what? They're going to talk about you. They're going to tell other people about you. And that's how I found out about you. I found out about you through a customer that you have, and she was telling me about you, and I was like, oh, okay. So we had a question here. I was going to pull it back up. So Paul was asking, so would having a script be beneficial to gauge response? I mean, do you, like I just, for most of the videos, of course, after a while, you say the same thing again and again and again, but do you recommend a script?
So I think having talking points. So again, so Paul, like these are pretty simple. Like the idea here, and not to be kind of too like hard nosed about it, is almost like how much time do you need to invest to kind of get that relationship to jump to the next level. So it's a lot less than what you think it is. It really is 20, 30 seconds. So I think if you can mention a name or and the company name if possible, always say welcome on board, thank them for being a lead, being a customer, whatever that is. And then your third point is essentially like the call to action. So go and book a call with our team here, or hop on a call with me. Like that's essentially it. Like as long as you cover those 3 points, you can talk around them. Like as Kim said, like the more of these you do, you'll start to refine how you talk. Yeah, like again, not all leads are equal, not all customers are equal. A large customer versus a small customer, you might want to treat those slightly differently. You might want to say certain things tailored towards them, but this is not talking for minutes. This is a quick hello, welcome, thank you conversion. If it's an existing customer, it's a check-in once a year and say thanks for being a customer again this year. It's amazing. It means a lot to us. As long as you cover those 3 bullet points, then like honestly, you kind of can't go wrong.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I was thinking about doing is, just touching base with previous customers, to your point, like, and just saying, hey, or another suggestion for those of you who, what is it? They call it the 7-word email. I think you could do the 7-word email with a video. Like somebody expresses an interest in something that you sell, but they didn't purchase in the moment. So you follow up with, hey, are you still interested in whatever it is, right? Or can I still help you? Is there any way I can help you with whatever it was? So it's an open-ended question that a lot of times people will respond to, because if they're still having the pain point, they're still struggling, that's an opportunity to, one, stand out because you took the time to physically record a video and send it to them via email, not just an email that says, hey, are you still struggling with, or do you still need help with, or whatever I guess there's variations to the 7-word email. But if that's, something that you want to touch base with, somebody who's it might be a way to generate sales is my point. So that's one thought process. And then just touching base, maybe even with existing clients, trying to give some ideas here, that might have purchased from you in the past. Hey, I loved having you as a client. If there's ever anything else I can do for you, please let me know. So those are all great ways to leverage I think a personalized video opportunity. Now, Matt, I know that you are referred to commonly as Papa Bear. What is the story behind that?
So I'm a massive fan of brand in business and the culture that follows on from that. So I mentioned, like, obviously we're customer first, like that's a big part of what we do. We hire for that. So given the fact that we try and encourage customers to be more open and do video on the move and not care so much, we decided that our brand had to go like kind of down this route of business but fun, almost like a business to consumer brand in the business to business space. And so we ended up going down the route of kind of characterization that kind of fell into place a little bit like how MailChimp did in the early days. So we ended up doing bears. Now that we started sending bear suits to customers' kids when they hit certain milestones around the world as a first thing. And then we started, when any new employee that came on board, we have a team of grannies in the north of England that custom knit bear onesies for any team that comes on board and they get to design them. We then started sponsoring bears and koalas for customers and kids around the world, and it kind of just got out of hand. And then Papa Bear, like it was inevitable. I didn't come up with it. I think it was probably a customer that said it, and then that just stuck. And there we go. So look, I'm a huge fan. If you can get your brand correct, it's all about where do you want your customers and your team to be. And so we've taken that kind of fun element, and honestly, like it's probably got a little bit out of hand, but everyone seems to like it. So for the moment, it's kind of a fun space to be in, and we take it where we can.
Sticking. That is so awesome, though. That goes back to, I think all of us could do something similar where, we have in whichever you could even have a scale. If you wanted to, maybe your higher end clients get something super cool, and mid-range clients get something cool, but it's not maybe as cool as and of course a present of any kind. I think even just those personalized notes or even the videos, which is the power of connection and time. When we are spending time and letting them know that we see them and appreciate them. I think that's the beauty of true value-based companies or brands in the way that people consume their products and services. But it's not about the products and services because, like Matt said, I mean, a lot of people are doing the same thing these days, right? So how do we stand out and get people talking about us? Personalized videos is one way to do it. So, Matt, can you tell everybody a little bit about where they can connect with you? All the goodies while we're pulling up all the winners, but share how they can find you, a little bit more about Bonjoro if you want, whatever makes sense.
Yeah, so me personally, easiest way, head to LinkedIn. If you type in Papa Bear, I think there's 3 of us, and I'm the guy in the bear suit. I'm not waiting today because it's summer here in Australia and it is way too hot. But go there. Please do reach out. Like anything I can do to help. Not enough people take me up on that offer, so I had a lot of help getting where I was. Like, feel free to be cheeky and hit me up if you want to try out videos. Give Bonjoro a go. It's absolutely free. For 2 weeks. There's free options, there's paid options after that. You'll receive a video from somewhere in the world. I will do some today, as I do every day, or you might get one from one of the other team members. If you have any questions, just hit them back and ask them. Like, have a chat to us. Like we're here to help. It might take a little bit of time to get going, but again, we'll give you everything you need to get there. If you look on the website as well, there's a section we call funnels where we've put out, it's probably about 35 very specific use cases of how to use video at certain points, where we talked about 35 most successful users. From e-commerce to consultancies to CPAs in software, like you name it, education. And they literally tell us, I send this video at this point and I say this and it gets me this. So have a read of those. It's a really good place to start. So again, that's Bonjoro and look at funnels. It'll give you a template to get started. And then after that, bring your brand and your personality into it. And honestly, like I said earlier, just say a name, show you care, and you will not be able to go wrong.
Yeah. I love that. And, you know, I'm, when we were talking, I was trying to give some ideas that literally I was just thinking of because we've been talking about how we were going to use it. But I love that you mentioned that about the, you know, use cases and stuff, because I think sometimes we can't envision how we can leverage some tools until we see how other people are doing it. So I'm so glad you said that. Well, I want to thank you for being here. You've been amazing. I know we're still pulling up our winners for today. But I wanted to share real quick. I saw a comment earlier. I'm going to scrolling back here for just a second, see if I can find it. It was really kind of summed up. Oh, goodness. Oh, here it is. Wendy. Wendy had said, conversation and relationship is where it's at. That's really what we're talking about here today, is the fact that, you know, really having conversations and building out the relationships and using a tool that allows you to do that based on an action that somebody took, you know, whether it's in a funnel or whether it's, there's a lot of different things. Go back and look at the things that Matt just said about the sales funnels, because, or the funnels, not necessarily sales funnels, because I think you'll find some great ideas. So our winners for the Clubhouse, so Bruce and Dana, if you guys, I will say real quick, I'm not sure, Bruce, if you're already on Clubhouse. Seemed like I might have saw you there. But if you don't have an iPhone, unfortunately, the Clubhouse app will not work for you. Right now, it's only on iPhone. But you guys, if you would just drop in, if you'll go to kimgarst.com/winner, drop in all of your details, we'll get you guys on Clubhouse, okay? And let's see. I know thank you, Rhonda, for putting that up. We're going to get the Go Social Content Club winners up. I just want to say real quick, I thought I saw you on over there, Bruce. So we'll try to pick another winner. So let me ask you, Matt, are you on Clubhouse yet?
So unfortunately, I'm an Android user.
Okay.
So I've been so I've got a couple of my team on there. I've been told to go and buy an iPhone to get on it. So
seriously, yeah.
I think I might get one just to do it. Like honestly, from what I hear, I think good things will happen. And do you remember in the early days when like people were first discovering Twitter and first discovering like Facebook, for paid ads? Yeah. I feel like potentially this is one of those things where if you get in early, there's an opportunity here to get some great returns for spend before everyone else gets on. So looks like I might be heading off to the Apple Store today.
Yeah, I mean, just get an old one, right? You know, just buy one that you can. I know I've heard several people say they have bought an iPhone just so they can get on the app. It is intriguing. I will say I'm a little bit. So Dana's saying, please pick another winner because she's on Android too. Well, Dana, you can always do what Matt's going to do and go buy a phone, and just saying. But it is intriguing. I think you would find your person would definitely be there, Matt. And it's interesting. There's a lot of SaaS conversations happening there. You know, I've noticed quite a few companies that are or founders are having conversations, and really interesting, very intriguing. I think that it's very obviously a lot of people gravitated to it, and it's very popular right now because we're lacking community. We need the connection right now, you know, with all this COVID stuff, and we've been all isolated. And the power of the voice is pretty interesting. I know that Twitter is getting ready to roll out an audio only app too. Wonder how that's going to go over. So do we have this? Are they the same winners? Okay, that's perfect because they couldn't take advantage of the Clubhouse offer. So we're going to give it to Bruce and Dana. They're going to be winners of the Go Social Content Club. Excellent. So guys, just go over to kimgarst.com/winner. We'll get you guys picked, set up, get your account set up and everything. All right. Well, Matt, I'm going to turn you loose, let you go, get you another cup of coffee, and I hope you have a lovely Tuesday.
Thank you. Thank you for the time, everyone.
Thank you. You guys that were with us, please have a great rest of your day. Take care of yourselves, and God bless. Talk soon.